Welcome to this look at a newish mod map to Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Fichtelberg by Spezi 2.0 modding and Desperados 93. 328.09 megabytes download. There's a funny thing about this. I went around the map to kind of familiarise myself and prepare for doing the tour, and I kept thinking, it seems so familiar. And there's a reason for that. That's because it was a map on FS17. It was by Desperados 93 on FS17, so it's now been converted over with the inclusion of Spezi 2.0 modding. There are no custom crops and there are no custom mods on this map. Contracts are available. And we start here at the main farm area. Let's have a look at the map. On New Farmer, we start with field 16. This section above and field 18. We've got cows at the farm. We've got chickens at the farm. And the map looks a little bit fussy when you look at it like this. And strangely, going around the map, I went around thinking, I really, really like this map. It has a kind of alpine feel to it. There's forestry involved. Field prices are pretty good. When you look at fields like field 2 and field 3, nice and cheap. We've got forestry, which is broken up into small sections as well, which is rather handy. The periphery of the map is quite expensive though. That's over 10 million, nearly 11 million to buy the periphery. I'm not sure if there's a need to buy the periphery, but you could do if you wanted to. So that's the map. The yard where we start, there's plenty of barn and building space. We have got, I like the way it's got all the FS19 features, functions included. And I think the reason why, when I went round, I remember doing the map tour on Fichtelberg now, and there were certain areas I went around thinking, again, like I say, I think this feels really familiar, you know, but I think enough has changed, enough has been added with FS19 that it really felt like a different map right from the outset, which I love. Well, the silo is just here, round by the side, and we just walked past the chickens, as you've seen. There is no fixed sleep trigger in place. If we go back to the map and have a look, there's no sleep trigger here. We start just in front of the farmhouse, which is here. Now, there's a lot of this as well, though, that reminds me of Goldcrest Valley. I think some of the buildings and things like that, and a little bit of a Felsbrunn feel to it as well. So there's a whole load of things all kind of thrown together. As far as the silo goes, the silo at the farm is 200,000 litres, but there is another silo elsewhere on the map, which we will get to at a later date. Chickens are just here. This will hold 400 chickens at the start farm. And as we go around the yard, you'll see more barn and building space. There's no shortage of that all around the map. And when we get to the machinery and equipment, we have got light switches on all of the barns as well. Very nice. We do start with a fair bit of equipment. As you can see, we've got our Merge Max, we've got our tedder, triple mower set up. There's more equipment, racking for front loader gear. Loads of trailers, loading wagon, manure spreader, trailer, plough, harvester. As we go through, we've got a whole load more gear through here, including, there is a tractor here somewhere. Where's the tractor gone? There we go. We've got a Fendt 939 tucked in there. So while we're here, let's talk about slot counts. It's 577 out of 1299. That is the same on all three game modes. Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, it's 577. If you sell all of the start machinery, you can get it down from 577 to 406 if you want to. So we've got a New Holland T5100, the 939 Vario. We've just seen the Rossel Mash 161 and the various different trailers, ploughs, seeders. Yeah, all of this gear we've been kind of looking at as we've gone through. Over the other side, we're going to get to that in a minute. We've got some animal feeding equipment. But there's no buildings. We don't own any buildings or anything like that to sell. They're all pretty much fixed in place. So what we're going to do... Yeah. Let's grab the 939. It's a big tractor. But it's nice. The other thing as well I found like I say, as I did the kind of quick whiz round, it all feels very crisp and clean and tidy, you know, nicely defined. The texture palette and colour palette used, it doesn't feel cartoony in any way. Plenty of undulations, there's a lot of sweeping landscape. Now again, you may not have played this on FS17. I'm pretty sure on 17 I only did the map tour, I think. So if you're new to this game for FS19, the previous version of this will have no relevance anyway. So, across the road, we've got the New Holland, the water tanker and the feed mixer, because the cow pasture is over this side. We've got a dialogue box just here. This will hold 200 cows. We've got a milk trigger, feed trigger. I think the water might be actually in the field. Down the side we've got our slurry manure. Maybe it's across the front. See, this reminds me very much, like I say again, of the Goldcrest Valley one. On that one, the water trough. Oh, there we go. Right there in the middle, and it was about somewhere. Water troughs in the middle. So that's your cows. We're going to do well, as far as I could work out, the most efficient route to take in all the sell points that we need to take in. Actually, normally when I get to the store, the main vehicle store, is when I talk about reset point. The reset point is actually here at the farm, the main yard where we originally started, right out the front of the house. That's the reset point. So if anything gets stuck, we have any problems, or you buy something from the store and you don't want to drive over, you can reset it back to the farm on this one. Silage clamp is just there, and we're going to head out onto the road. Up to the first point we're going to get to, which is the water fill trigger, just up the hill. Now as we go around, there are a lot of trees, there's plenty of forestry to be done. It feels very natural. At times, I'll be honest, like I say, I really do like it. I like the layout, the sweep of it all. I think it can feel a little bit cluttered in places. I will just say that. As you go along the road sometimes, and that's just a camera angle. If you're doing first person like that, it's not going to have any effect at all. But if you're out of cab and you're even slightly removed, sometimes the tree's getting away a little bit of your vision, but that's a fairly minor thing. Water fill trigger just there. As we go down the hill, we will get to the sheep pasture, which is just here to the side. Sheep pasture here with the water trough and feed trough over to that side. As we come round, we've got a dialogue box around this side. This will hold 250 sheep, and your spawn point for your wool pallets is just there. Let's swing back round. We're going to head to the store. We'll have a look back on the map, because it will make a little bit more sense. So we've gone from the main yard here. This is where your vehicles will respawn, right here in front of the house in the main yard. We came out and along to the cow pasture that was just there, and then we've come up the road here, water fill trigger and sheep pen. We're going to come back along. I'm going to come right the way around now to biogas plant. We'll go to the shop first, then biogas plant, and then we'll do a route round, like I say, that will take in everything. There are loads of rivers and bridges and waterfalls. There's a railroad, which we'll get to later on. We'll do a quick whiz round on the railroad, because that's up in the top right hand corner, the northeast of the map, and it takes in 2 or 3 points of interest. So when we get to there, we'll have a bit of a whiz round on that as well. It's making me smile, this one. But it's funny because the route round I'm doing, I don't recall. You know, sometimes you go on a map and it'll be a version that you've played on previously or from a previous version of the game. And when I do the map tours, I find myself doing an almost identical route. And that was the thing, as I was going around, I wasn't following a route that I remembered. It was only at certain junctions and things I got to, and I thought, no, in the back of my mind there was that little niggle. So I went on FS17 and I checked. So let's come round, we come to the store. We'll cut round on the road. Now I sped up time to about 9:30 so the light was a little bit better to do the map tour. I don't know if these lock. I say I don't think they do. I'm not sure if they do. Your buy point is just left there. Morgan's massive motors. And then we've got our vehicle repair, sell and customise point at this end. Nice large area for vehicles to spawn. Now some of the lanes and roads are a little bit narrow across the map as you go around. You'll see that from here because we're going to head to the biogas plant. But as far as I can tell, the hedges don't have collisions. So whilst you'll get away with slightly wider stuff, there are some areas like you can see here where there are trees and things that might be a little bit trickier potentially. So up into biogas plant. The biogas plant will cost you 87 grand to buy, and it's a standard biogas plant. There's nothing, it doesn't take any extra crops in particular. Now one thing with this, when I had a look around, that's the sell point into the digesters, and I thought that was your digestate point over there for your byproduct, but it's actually, there's a hazard mark box over this side. So your digestate tank is over here, and we've got two semi-open silage clamps, one larger one here, one smaller one there, and these two to the side. It does say for storage of fruit and things like that. That's not for compacting or anything like that. If I open up that menu here, you'll see we've got field level chaff and compacting on this one here, and the other one at the back. You go over to here, but these two don't have it. So whilst they are showing us clamps, it could just be a storage facility. If you had an overflow of a particular crop, you could put it there between the walls if you wanted to. It feels very lush and vibrant. I think that's what I'm kind of the feel I'm getting from it. I think as well, because I've done a few map tours the last couple of days, because I've been away, sort of away from my PlayStation and haven't done anything for about 5-6 days. The last couple I've done have been quite flat and fairly open, so I suppose that's why as well it feels a lot more claustrophobic's the wrong word, but you know, you can tell as you're going around there's a lot going on. And to be fair, to have the slot count at 577 and then to be able to get that down to 406 if you sell all the vehicles, for the detail on the map, that's quite incredible. So as we come up the hill, I think I must have, it was when I got up here to the horse enclosure, I drove down off the other side and thought that was one of the first places. I suddenly thought, whoa, hang on a minute, mind blown. So we do have a horse training facility just up here on the hillside. There's not a horse pen up here, but I'm not sure if there's enough room to place one. But if you have got horses and you wanted to bring them up here, you could maybe ride up here and do some training. And just here, we've got the Farmer Andy sell point, and then we've got the animal dealer just past it. Which is just there. I think I want to go this way. I've got to remember my route. There are quite a few different roads and different layers. You know, on some maps you'll get circuits of road that are at one level, and then you'll get another sort of circuit of road which goes over bridges above it, and it's finding those connecting roads that join them all up. So as we come to the next bridge, not this one, that one's over the river, this one's over the road, the third one is over the railway. We're going to switch to the train and we're going to do the circuit on the train to take in the next few points. So we'll just stop there for a second. And I will see you momentarily. Okay, so on the train, we're coming under the bridge where the tractor is. A few carriages on the train, one for logs, a couple for grain. As we swing round, we come to the first point of interest, which I think I'm going to stop here if I can. I wasn't intending to when I first thought about doing this, but I'm going to, because it will save me a bit of time later on. So we've got an unloading crane here that does work. You can use, because we're right next to the sawmill. We hop over the coupling there. So you can come up onto the road, the tracks, you can go across, and the crane's there up the side. But we are here at the sawmill. Log sale point is just here. As we come around the back, there is another crane for unloading off of vehicles. So you can load onto train or off the train, whichever way around you want to go about doing it. We've got another crane there, and we've got the wood chip sale point just tucked through there. Now it looks very much like there's a mill pond. I did try it, it's not. But again, a very Goldcrest Valley feel with the water flowing down the hill from the top, sort of hydroelectric setup. And we've got this sort of mill pond bit here, but like I say, it's not, unfortunately, that's not a sell point. Would be cool if it was. The lumber sell point, very definitely there. So back up to the train. So a couple of cranes and the sawmill. What we'll do, actually, before we go any further. So we came from the farm, we did the water fill trigger, the shop, biogas plant. We swept up the hillside to where the horse training area is, Farmer Andy, animal dealer. We came down this section here to the bridge, and we're now going round. So as you can see, this circuit here is the railway line. It's just in the northeast corner. It doesn't go around the entire map. It's just a kind of, I suppose, almost a little model railway sort of thing. It's only a very small section. Let's start the train up and get going again. It's a very beautiful map. Now, as we come round, under the road and over the bridge, we come to Railroad Silo East. So when I said about the second silo, 200,000 litres, that is this one here. Now this is just a transfer silo, this is not a sell point, so you can either unload from the train into the silo or from the silo into the train, so you can come from the road and you can swap your goods over from train to vehicle or from vehicle to train here. And as we continue round, what we will do, as we're going to go through the tunnel, we'll switch to the interior, which actually looks really nice in here. I say it looks really nice, it's got scratched and scuffed, but it's got a nice look to it. It looks right, you know. So as we come at the other side, we've got a sell point on this section, and this is Eisenbahnmühle, so railroad mill, sell point just there. And we should come back under this bridge and we're going to be back to where the tractor was. So as you can see, the railroad section of this, fairly short, fairly small. Back to the tractor. Okay, that's the railroad section done. Let's carry on. Now, there are sections of the map that on the tour as I'm going around we're not going to get to. Like I say, because of the various different sort of bits of road network and where the connecting sections are, but there's lots more to explore. I do like the fact that all the fields, even though some of them are regular shapes, either squares or rectangles, and they're either north, south, east, west, not all of them are. There's a lot of sweep and dip and, you know, rise and fall on them, which is going to make doing a lot of the farming fairly challenging. Over this bridge. Under this one. Now, what route do I need to go from here? Racking my brains. Oh yeah, I remember now. This is what I mean. Lower section of road, we'll sweep round now to the upper section of road, and we're going to go over the bridge we just went under. We're going to sweep back past the farm, only because it's the route really that takes in the next sell point the easiest, without backtracking too much, I hope. But it's a nice opportunity to get a feel for the map. No, I think because when I did Fox Farms, was the one I posted this morning, they had a few sell points but was pretty much billiard flat, you know, billiard table flat, and this feels so vastly different from it. So farm's just over to the right. The next sell point coming up is Farmer Seb. So we've got Farmer Andy and Farmer Seb. This sell point is tucked in here behind the trees by the side of the road. Now what I'm going to do is cut across the edge of the field, because there's not actually a road that connects the next bit easily, not without me going out of my way. So I'm going to just run down the side of the field here, which takes us to a little town in the southeast corner. Let's cut through the trees here because there's a fence in the way. There we go. So in the town area we've got a few sell points we need to take in. Let's make sure I take the right turning. First one, around the back there, is Backstube, which is bakery, I believe. As we go a bit further along, we will come to the spinnery. Make sure I don't hit anything. Fuel station, just there. Turn the corner here. It's quite a large track to get around here. Spinnery, just to the right there. Come back out onto the main road. And then in here, we've got the weighing scales just here, but we are Agrasius, yeah. The sell point of which is just here, for Agrasius. And then we've got the barn sell point, just tucked in here, inside the building. So, where have we been? Well, from the sawmill, we did the loop round, taking the railroad silo east, came back round Eisenbahnmühle, and then picked up the train, the tractor again, came back round, crossed the river, did a loop round, back past the farm, down past Farmer Seb. We then cut across the side of this field here. What was that field? That one there, all well on there, up into here, and we have done the bakery, spinnery, Agrasius, and the barn, which only leaves us with a couple to go. There's a bit of a drive between here and there. Let's head back out onto the road. I could cut straight across that field, but I'm not going to. That's not who I am. Fishleburg Diner. That's nice to see as well. I know often when the diners are placed on maps, it's very tempting or commonplace, I guess. Commonplace is the best word. For it just to be the standard kind of bomb. There's a diner. It says diner, but the fact that's been changed, the sign, it's little attention, little attentions to detail that make a difference. It may be because I've been away from the game for a few days, but the last few days, the last 2 days, I've been back and doing sort of videos and map tours and catching up on the stuff I missed. I think I'm appreciating things a bit more. I've said it before. When you play a lot, you kind of get a bit blasé as to certain features and things and the vehicles and the scenery, and you just kind of get on with, I'm doing my farming, I'm doing this, I'm doing my harvest, and you kind of get into it. But it kind of being away from it for a few days makes you really appreciate it. I think. I mean, that's just my own personal feeling. So, next sale point is just here. Getreideverkauf, which is grain sale. Sale point is just in there. Nice large building. Then on to, I think, the last point we're going to go to. Over the river again, or over a river again. There are quite a few. We're going to be heading to the pigs. So we did the chickens, the cows, the sheep, now the pigs, which are just down here, off to the right. And if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm right, that is the map, I think. Apart from obviously all the bits that I haven't shown you. I've shown you most of the main sale points, if not all of them. But there's still a lot of the map to explore and see. I think the transformation, the conversion over from 17 to 19 has been done incredibly well. So, we'll hop out just here. Dialogue box for the pigs is just here. This will hold 300 pigs. Water trough there. Slurry point there. Feed trough. Manure pit. I'm not sure where the bedding goes. It's got to be along one of these somewhere. Plenty of barn space though. And that is the map. So from here, we went along the main road there, across the bottom up to the roundabout, past Getreideverkauf, up here. The W's are for Wiese, which is German for meadow. So all the W's are meadows that you can buy. And we're now here at the pig pen, just south of the shop and the biogas plant, with the main farm being just over to our east. And that's the map. I'm just checking my list. I don't think I've missed anything. I hope I haven't missed anything. I think that's it. That is Fishleburg by Spezi 2.0 modding and Desperados 93. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.